I was just looking at myself with my camera and preparing to. And I did some gesture like this. I don't know, but it started recording, so. Hi. I don't know what that was. Anyway, I was going to use my rods and record, and I was fussing with my hair. And I was making a big deal about it because I'm getting ready to cut it. So, I have a little literal scratch across my screen. Making it all fuzzy, fuzzy. Okay, I'll say what's going through my head. That's what it looks like behind me. This is the environment I spend time in. I love to spend time in comfortably prepared spaces. It's part of my will and testament that I read to myself. I didn't read it today, but that's probably the problem. Okay, I'm trying to do. These girls might come in here when they see me with these rods. Okay, as I was calming myself to see who might want to talk, I immediately felt manatus. Okay, I'm gonna get the rods because I already hear stuff. Okay, can't see them. I need to back up, it look like, or push this down. Maybe it should be shorter so we're not like, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're gonna hold it like this. I feel like that's good enough. Yeah, I can see. Right? Should I scale back or not? Okay. Here we go. Okay. Manatus, are you here? Yes. Okay. So, yesterday when I said my granddaughters. Okay, so yesterday when I was talking about 3-Eye Atlas, and right, okay, and I asked if you were on it, and you said no, and but you said you were with them. Okay, so now I understand that 3-Eye Atlas is not one big main thing, right? Right. Okay. It's a big ship and then a a fleet of smaller supporting ships. Okay. Are you in one of those ships? Yes. Okay. So, and now it's showing up on radar. Yeah. It's so cool. I just saw a video of that.
This is like structure. This is showing echo and structure of something. There has to be an echo reflection to show this. Look at the size of this ship. It's all structure all the way out. Oh my gosh. I hope you understand. I'm going to explain real quick before this shorts out because I know this is like it comes in for like 5 minutes or something. It says that's almost like all these are other ships coming in behind it that are guarding the rear of this ship. Those are big, like these are other ships. They're coming in behind this to guard this gigantic thing that you just seen.
Okay, so this is the time. Now is the time because they're coming to support. It's not like they're going to be the disclosure. You guys aren't going to be the thing, right? You're coming to support it, right? Okay, so the disclosure is going to come from what? Our government agencies, or be reported as yeah, so as something known. Okay, is there somebody else here? Okay, I feel like it just distracted or just got sideswiped. Okay, so somebody else is here. Okay, are you a new being? New to me? No. Okay, are you on my support team that wants to speak? There's somebody on my support. Okay, so what do you want to say? Are you Trevor? Okay. Okay. I'm trying to like clarify the role of Trevor because you assist me when I'm doing healing work. Okay. And you're here. You have something to say right now. Okay. Does it have to do with the alien crafts coming? Okay. Okay. What do you have to say about these alien crafts coming? Charlie and I get flustered at my granddaughter is crying. That's the 2-year-old one. She doesn't listen to reason that much. She just doesn't prefer to be consoled. I don't know. Okay, back in here. She's learning new words, so she's using them all to see if those will work at any time. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. So, Jor, you came and had something to say about. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay. Started sneezing. That's not awesome. Okay. So, I was waiting to hear from Trevor, right? No. You're done. No. Okay, I was speaking with managers, and then Trevor came in. What would you like us to know right now? I was thinking to go within. Yes, to go within. So, learning to trust your intuition, finding as many ways as you can to acknowledge synchronicities, acknowledge your gut instincts, notice splenic hits if you have splenic authority in human design. If you're supposed to write out the waves of your emotion, then please do that before you make any choices. Find out your human design. Find it out. It could be a helpful external tool to guide you to look internally, to give you confidence and validation when you're learning to trust your instincts and your intuition and your external or your extrasensory perception. So not just your perception, but your extrasensory perceptions. So your clairs, your clairaudience, your clairvoyance, your claircognizance, your what's the rest of them? That's enough clairs. Okay, so being with like-minded people, taking control of your focus, being overly committed and placing your concern on how you feel, and that's the best you can feel at all times, meaning you can always reframe your mind and your perception of what's happening. We're going to always find gratitude and something to be grateful for, and in doing so you elevate yourself on the scale of consciousness, and you have access to see the world in a positive way and connect. So you literally travel up, after having mapped out your nervous system, you can travel up into connection once you know and can identify where you are, and you make it your business to care about it. And yeah, so we can start with that. Celebrating and recounting all of your victories, whether they be celebrating when something worked out well, when you were in a tight spot and how it worked out. Just recount all the times that you had horrible things in your life and how it's not like that right this second. Okay, don't do that. Focus on the positive things in your life, and if recounting how if you notice a pattern, there we go. When you notice the pattern, Bashar was saying this, noticing the pattern means that it no longer has power over you. Right. So also taking account or noticing tendencies, neurologically speaking, you could do like I'm going to use this phrase. I'm not sure if I made it up. I doubt that I made it up, but like neurostacking. I'm going to ask you to stack a habit that you already have and stack something beneficial that you deem that supports your nervous system, or anchoring safety into your nervous system, like breathing techniques. I'm going to start doing I think this coming week we're going to start doing not just we always do movement and morning nutrition, but now I think we're going to add in um, breathing techniques, because as someone who needs to support nerve damage, a nervous system damage, we need extra, we need more oxygen to repair damaged nerves. You need a certain amount to oxygenate healthy nerves, and you need so much more. Okay, so breathing is good and free. It's free. It's free. This hair sticking out is really bothering me. It's okay, because when I trim myself, that won't be there. When I give my little makeover guy, that literally won't be there. Or that. So it'll be like that anyway. With this will be shorter. I'm gonna do like a wolf, shag, fairy, mullet, hybrid guy. I love transformation. It's my favorite. I realized this is my gift, right? Like my zone of expertise. And I feel pretty confident to say that, because I've changed a lot. I've made huge changes, a lot of huge changes in a really short amount of time. Like, for example, in the year of 2012, I lost 120 pounds in 7 months. And I wanted to do it without diet and exercise to prove that it matters more what you think. See? It matters more what you think than it does, than what you do. So you could pretty much make up anything that you, like the thing I was saying before, you already have a neural established pathway for this, something that you do every day. Add in or say, just decide, convince yourself that by speaking it and imagining it so, that you could add in every time I do this, blah, 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 every day. It reshapes my neural pathways and causes my ideal weight and muscle tonality and basically physique. You could do that. You could say that. I used muscle memory and intention, and I call it like window shopping for body parts. Like, oh, I like those arms. I would be happy if my arms looked like that. And then I found myself compelled to, oh, what's this mess here on the thing? Oh, this is a little children's hands print where they've got their hands going up the stairwell here. And I had a wet rag in my hand, and so I just started wiping it. And it came off so easily with just the wet rag. Well, I stayed there and finished the job and kept switching arms, knowing it was kind of fatiguing my arm, and being like, oh, this will be a little workout. But I was mostly just stuck in like a compulsive OCD type, whatever that made me want to finish the job. Well, no, I didn't go re-wet my rag, so it became increasingly more difficult without the moisture helping, and later I go to reach for something and I'm like, oh, my arm, like as if I had done a huge workout. Well, I mean, I kind of did in a sense, but for weeks I would every time my arm felt like that, I would remember and engage those muscles again and think about how sore my arms got, and like I pushed through it to go whatever, and to finish it, and I didn't want to leave that area without what half of it looking, or part of it looking all dinge horrible. And so I but okay, that opportunity presented itself because those are things that would line up for me. I put it into my subconscious by shopping for what I preferred. I went to look for evidence of, or I cleared up my asking, my wish, my desire. I cleared it up. I got specific about it, and I was like, oh, what would make me happy? And then I identified that, and then I like looked for my on myself. Oh, is this what? How could it? I changed my arm in the mirror to look, or just, you know, at some points I used Photoshop to change what my body looked like, because I couldn't even fathom. I had been overweight for so long that I couldn't fathom how it used to look or feel, let alone feel. But I couldn't even imagine how it felt or looked. So I used, you know, technology and angles and phones and whatever to like give myself an image to where I could imagine, I could fathom. And as soon as I did, with elevated emotion, I was very excited about it, right? And at the time, that's when I was first. It was like controversial then, because we didn't know how to talk about it. We called it being triggered or being activated. And what we meant is that I could be triggered to a like full body orgasm, what felt like a full body orgasm. Now I would claim it to be like Kundalini energy, right? But I could be triggered by sounds, words, smells, commands, phrases, anything beautiful, a kind gesture I would see. I would be like, oh, and then just be filled with full body pleasure. And I said 2012, right? This is 2025, right? I remember at that time being like, oh, I can't imagine a time when it's not going to be like this. And my mentor was like, well, there will be, because this is not sustainable. You can't stay on the top of a wave forever. You know, that's not the nature of, it's not nature, right? All right. So, however, I can use the extended knowledge and life experience that I've had between then and now, and sort of rejoin up and or reframe, I guess. You're saying no, so yeah, reframe this in a new way. Um, I'm also now aware of my autism and neurodivergence and ADHD, right? And also DID, so dissociative identity disorder. And I say dissociative identity disorder so that we can have a common ground of how to explain it. But the more I understand myself through that lens, the more I understand that not just I, but we are multi-dimensional, multifaceted beings. And the abuse that I had early on that caused that fractalization of my personality equipped me for now, for being able to have inner communication, and also communication interdimensionally within myself because of my interdimensionality, and a way to show and help other people to feel more comfortable this ability that they have as well. So I think that that's what Trevor supports me in. Is that what all you were trying to say? Okay. And Manitus, how about you? Do you have more things that you, do you have more stuff you want to talk about? Okay, let's fix it. Okay, Manitus, do you have more things you would like to say? Yeah, okay. You okay, let me just listen for a second. Okay, practice knowing yourself now so that you can trust yourself and not be afraid when you see everything that's coming up. And that's not what you're saying. You want them to trust their inner guidance. Yes. And inner communication. Yes. So that they can have telepathic communication with you and other entities. Okay. So, working on your, you don't have to work on your intuition. It's your intuition. Work on acknowledging your intuition. Bolstering your sense of gaining assuredness of your intuition will help you be easily ready to engage with them and have telepathic communications. Okay. So when when you're practicing inner communication, when you're practicing mediumship, when you're practicing channeling, the best advice I was given was that when you ask a question, it's answered, and when you think you're making it up, that's your answer. Because if you're trying to get advice, and so you're opening yourself up and listening to advice because you want to have more of a connection, then you would be like open to hearing things, or open, you're not sitting here going, okay, I'm going to make up the fastest thing that I can. That's not your intention. So like, maybe you should try that. Maybe you should try to make up something real fast and see if you even can. That will help. No. It will just get you to realize that it's difficult when you're trying to be an open, clear channel to receive information. Is that what you mean? Okay. So, yes. So, all right. So, so practice trusting yourself. Practice listening to your intuition, right? And that's interdimensional telepathy. Speaking with your multi-dimensional self. So whether that's fractaled inward in the inward parts, as far as the identity, the body, the person, the name, the Desiree suit, that, and like your oversoul, the part you are without this dream of life. Okay. That's all we have to say about that, apparently. That's so funny because I am sensitive to energy. That's why I was so excited to try to use to start to use dowsing rods, because um, like for example, pendulums move so easily for me. They like, I see like a big response, or like if there's a case of them, there's a case sitting there and it's got a whole bunch of pendulums just hanging freely. If they're able to hang, I just walk up there to them and get close, and they all start moving, and it makes me feel so cool because I'm not even touching them, you know. And I can just like take off my necklace. I could grab a piece of thing that's like cheap little costume jewelry with a little plastic bead on it. Or one time I picked up a little swan that had a little chain to their baby swan, and so it could swing, you know, and I picked it up to use it as an example of how, you know, a tool can't be evil. You shouldn't be scared of an object, because it's an object. And um, these are responding um, to energy, but they're just sitting here. They can't do anything by themselves. They're responding to my energy and the energy I'm opening myself up to. You know, like, these aren't evil. Now, it's like a gun, I guess. Could I do something bad with it? Yeah. That doesn't make it scary. That would make my intent kind of scary, you know? And if that's your first thought, I'm not saying that you're scary. I'm saying that you should look at your conditioning. You should look at your why do you think this is scary? Or why do you know someone who could think this is scary? Why do you think? Well, I don't want you to judge people. If you think it's scary, what would you think about that? Won't you? I lovingly invite you to consider that this is copper. And then I can connect to love. Love. Love, 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 love. And because of what I've set up here in this little session, or what I will always, and when I spoke over my rods when I first got them, but can I tap into evil right now? No. Okay. No. Go back to neutral. Okay. So I can feel energy. I always have. And I have always had instant responses to people's questions. I guess that's why they've always came to me and asked me these questions, even when I was young. Like, really young. And I just started answering them. And then I'm like, it's pretty good. It's like I get to be a witness of what happens when people ask questions. But it's not just questions. It's when people come pull on me for something that they need, recognizing whatever they recognize, or, you know, however it is that they're drawn to me in those cases. And then they come and do that. And then so I've been a channel for a long time. Have I been a channel since I got here? Cool. So is there, okay, how about this? Is there more to the story about me doing healing work in the church, or around the people? Was there more? Is there more to me doing healing work? What was what my grandma said, that she knew I'd never have a life of my own. Is there more to that besides what I remember? Yes. Okay. Um, is it helpful for me to know that now? No. Fine. I'm a crybaby. Don't say yes. I can. It's okay to be a crybaby sometimes, as long as you acknowledge it. And I cried, and now I'm okay. It's fine. You know? Okay. Also, it's so strange and odd that I started practicing, well, like, actively trying to engage in mediumship. So for a few weeks now. So let's say a month, maybe. Probably not, but let's say. Then Coffee left, Jack's dad left, Biscuit left. Anybody else? Oh, but anyway, the point is that it's just strange to be, because I would say his name. I said Biscuit's name, and I felt him jumping and bounding around on me and stuff. And so I felt extremely happy for that, and but it also caused me, like, I mean, I also was trying to be sad. I was trying to grieve him, but he was all jumping on me and stuff, and being all, you know, just exactly, I say, but he's a little chihuahua, so he's a long-haired chihuahua, so he's like real tiny and bouncy and insistent on, oh, I want to get up on you, pick me up, squeeze me. And he was being like that while I was trying to, it was so strange. It was so strange to feel, it was almost impossible to grieve. I mean, I could grieve, but it was almost impossible to feel sad, because he was right there, and they're trying to tell us that that's how it is, and that's how it could be. That's how it is. That's how it can be. Okay. I guess I'm gonna put on my YouTube. Yes. Could put little snippets on TikTok, right? Sure. Okay. Is there any, like, last messages? Yes. We are coming soon. We are coming soon. Learn how to control your fear. Meaning, fear is a choice, and you don't have to be swept up in it. Learn how to take control of that. Hold on, it's my hair. They're here to help. They love us. They're coming to assist us. More of our gifts will come online, just like mine are. It doesn't matter if you don't recall them from a young age. It doesn't matter if you're not a lifelong healer. If you're not it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Every human that would be listening to something like this, you have the ability for inner and interdimensional and interdimensional communication. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna name my stuff. Name the stuff I do, because that's what I want to help teach you. Because I think that's the part that's important. Yeah. Yes. This is great. Thanks for those ideas. So Trevor, that's why you're here teaching about this, because you've been helping me all along with this. Okay. Okay, anything else? Is that back to neutral or no? Okay. Nothing else? No more. No. Okay. Thank you. I love you. Some love. All the love. I love you. Thank you, Amanitus, for being here. I love you. I mentioned the ones that had passed, so biscuit and coffee. I love you guys. Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all. Now I'm going to close my channel. Okay. I'll be back when we do it again.